thank you for joining us today, Amanda. Yes, we appreciate you being here to talk about such an important topic about hair loss. So when did you first notice changes in your hair from thinning and things like that?
So I started suffering from hair loss in my 20s. So it's been almost 20 years now that I struggled with it. It just slowly, my middle part got wider and wider and wider. And I went to every single doctor to try and stop the process. Every doctor that I went to would tell me it was stress, or I was going through hormones, or all those kinds of things, which all of those are reasons why you do lose hair, and it's a part of the hair loss cycle. But for me personally at that time, 10 years later, there I am still in the same career, the same life. Like, this was the life I was living, and so I needed something more, because being told that stress and that some shampoo would magically make it come back was not happening.
Do you have any family history of?
I do. So my dad has lost most of his hair, my brothers as well, and then some of my grandparents as well. It wasn't something I thought I would ever have to deal with, especially as a woman. I saw my dad, I assumed that was going to happen to my brothers, but as a woman, it's nothing that we ever talk about. So I never thought this would happen to me.
I always assumed it was a man problem.
Right.
I never really thought about it happening to women. And then just to tell you a little about my story with hair loss, started when I had to take the anthrax vaccine before going to Afghanistan.
Oh, wow.
I think there was like 6 of them. I can't remember how many we did.
Serious.
And that's when I started noticing my hair falling out. And then nothing ever fixed it. Like, I immediately went to the doctor, and they're not going to give you Rogaine or anything. But that was my first start, was get on the Rogaine. And that actually worked, And then after that, like mid-50s, of course, my hair's thinning, my hair just... And with the part, that was my situation too. I just started parting to the side because I can't even do a middle part anymore. You just can see too much scalp. So I gave up.
Same.
Yeah.
And honestly, even having the system now, I'm so used to parting it on the side that it's just, that's what I want to see in the mirror now.
The side part made to come back anyway.
Yeah. I know for me, I had the anthrax as well, and I noticed changes, but the biggest change I had was after I had my son. Like, my hair got really thin after that. And I've always had pretty thin hair, but not quite as thin as it is. And I just started going into pixie cuts, like right away. And I let it grow out. And then, a few years back, like 4 years ago, I went through a bout of cancer and lost all my hair. And I was hoping it would grow back thick. Initially, it started to feel thicker, and then I went back to the same old thing. And I was like,
But it's changing colors.
Yes, it is changing colors.
Yeah, it always grows back a little different. And I thought about the same thing of I'm just going to shave my head and see if it comes back. But I was scared it wouldn't.
Come back curly or something.
Exactly.
So did you ever think hair loss was something that happened to women, especially in midlife?
No, like I said, I saw my dad obviously going through it. I saw several men going through it. And I'm sure there were a lot of women going through it, but it's just not something that we ever talk about. It's not something we ever, talk to your girlfriends about, really. A lot of women suffer hiding or using those powders to cover it up. Yeah. That's what I did. I had all kinds of powders, and my friends would always, I had no idea. Yeah. I hid it as much as I could. But it's just not fun to be so alone and to feel so isolated and to feel like there's something wrong with me if I'm the only one going through this right now. And if it's this man's issue and there's nobody, everyone's telling me it's just me stressing. So there's something I'm doing wrong here. And it wasn't until I started to really advocate for myself where I was like, okay, this is enough. I need something more than the Rogaine, or I need something more than just these powders. Advocating for yourself is definitely important. And beyond that, finding physicians that actually want to listen and help figure that out with you. So shout out to Live Dermatology, one of the best dermatologists, and was really lucky that I connected with them, because they did. After 10 years of searching for answers, finally gave me an answer where it was like, this is a genetic thing you have. It's not going to come back. We can help keep what we can, but it's not going to come back the way it was 10 years ago. And so that was just a relief to just be like, there's an answer.
Yeah.
And now I can move on to the solutions that are actually going to work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like when I talked to my doctor about it, they acknowledged it. Like, it's in my VA record, but they don't want to do anything about it. Yeah. It's just like, well, do whatever you need to do on your own. But they didn't want to help me do anything.
Yeah. And it's, again, when you feel so alone in that, or when you feel dismissed about it, you think it's something you are doing. And so, while yes, there are things I could have changed about my health, probably sleeping better and working out and all those things. Realistically, even if I fixed all those things, my hair was never going to grow back to where it was.
Yeah. So did you try to ignore it at first?
Yeah. So I had a lot of time where, like I said, I was just using those powders to try and cover things up. And it was those powders, while they do wonders in hiding your scalp, here in Texas, and that heat gets a little pasty with that sweat. Your nails turn black after scratching your scalp. Silly things like that. That it was more of a very obvious solution, and it made me feel very insecure. Like I was like, I see it in my nails, or if the wind blows, is there going to be a spot where I didn't cover? All those kinds of things. But I did try everything. Once it started to like progress to a point where I was like, this clearly isn't just stress anymore. So I did try to just ignore it and fix it with some powders. And then eventually it was to the point where there's no coming back. There's got to be a better solution here.
I went straight to minoxidil. I was like, that was my first, and it actually works. Like, I see little baby hairs and everything, but you can never stop using it.
Right.
Like, that's, once you start, it's forever. So it gets expensive.
And I will say, I mean, I still do take minoxidil every day. Like I still work with my dermatologist on my hair and making sure that everything's healthy and still thriving. Now that helps keep what I do have. And, that is part of the wonderful thing at the CNC we'll get into, but you keep your hair. You want to keep your hair and stimulate what you can. If you do have, a cancer and you come back where your hair is going to come back, well, then great. We want to keep that hair growth. We want to stimulate as much as we can so that it stays healthy.
What does that look like when you go to a dermatologist and you said that she still makes sure your hair is good and thriving? Like, is that a blood test or?
Well, so when I first went, we did a biopsy, and that's what told me that it was the androgenetic alopecia. Okay. And no, it's just a lot of like, this, I have psoriasis of the scalp specifically, so I have to go to the dermatologist to look at that and make sure that I'm not having any flare-ups or breakouts or things like that. And obviously psoriasis of the scalp itself can cause some hair loss issues. So there's just so many things that can cause hair loss that it could be medical, it could be not. So talking to your physician about that is really important, making sure that if there is any other underlying causes, that those things are being taken care of too.
So we kind of got into this, but what are some of the things you've done or purchased to help with your hair?
Oh man. I really have tried a lot. I did do the Rogaines, I did all the pills. I did very painful PRP injections.
Oh, I heard that hurt.
Yes, they are not fun. And I tried to do hair transplant, but I wasn't a candidate. Okay. It's very rare for women to be candidates for hair transplant, from what I understand. Definitely seek out that option. But this is kind of what led me to where I am now, because this was my only option, my only solution to my answer, or to my problem.
Yeah. Have you tried anything?
I've done the minoxidil and Rogaine thing, but I was not consistent enough. And like she said, you have to be on it forever. Mm-hmm. And I was like, wow, this is really, it would cost a lot to stay on that forever.
The HEB brand.
I mean, I've tried vitamins. I mean, I probably didn't get the most expensive ones. Now I take Nutrafol. Mm-hmm. So hopefully that's helping, but I've only been on it for 4 months. But I haven't had extreme hair loss to the point where I feel like I have bald spots yet. Maybe that will happen, but just the vitamins mostly. That's what I'm doing now.
Yeah. So I did minoxidil. I told you that. Yeah. I have the little laser cap.
Mm. Oh yeah, I had one of those too. Yeah.
And then I take Nutrafol still. I even take or use is it Nioxin, the shampoo conditioner. Mm-hmm. And the thing is, like, am I doing too much? I might be just making my scalp worse, just putting all these things on it, so that I wonder that too. But I don't have a bald spot, but I do see huge parts that is just Like if anybody's standing behind me,
Yeah.
I automatically think like, oh, I need to move. Because I just don't want them to see you. There's just too much scalp going on back there.
Yeah. I hear you on that one. And, one thing we do at Flora Hair Solutions is the trichology test. And so in that sense, we can look at that thin layer that's on your scalp that produces that sebum and your oils and your sweat glands and all of those things. And so when you use such harsh chemicals constantly on your scalp, it can kind of deteriorate that area. And that can stimulate clogged ducts, that can stimulate excessive sebum production, which is becoming really oily or a lot of dandruff or whatever the case may be. And sometimes that could be your solution, right? It could just be that you're unbalanced and you need to balance your scalp and stimulate that all again, restart your hair growth process. And so that's something we can look at, and we have these cameras that can look at your follicles and see, the buildup or what's going on there. Now, when there are medical issues that are a lot more in depth, that's when we say, okay, at this point, you want to go to a dermatologist or talk about those autoimmune issues or medical issues that you may have.
Is the castor oil, is that any good?
I've never heard of castor.
I've
only heard of that for
rosemary.
labor.
Yeah.
Have you tried rosemary? I just bought some recently, and I'm going back to the same thing. Like, am I just putting too much on my scalp? Like, my scalp's probably screaming for mercy right now.
Maybe the castor oil is for the belly.
I never heard about that for hair.
I haven't either, honestly. And again, that Flora Hair Solutions, when we do those tests, we do have several products that CR Lab makes that addresses those superficial issues that are going on at the top of your scalp. And so we always want to make sure that your hair underneath is thriving. So we try to balance your scalp before putting on any hair system, or to try and stimulate hair growth if you're in a process where, no, it's not bald spots, no, it's not, extreme, but you are shedding and you are feeling insecure about it, and it's just not where you're wanting it to be. Or maybe you're just really itchy. That happens on your scalp, right?
Have you ever felt self-conscious about your hair in a social or professional setting?
Oh man, all the time. It wasn't until I found this system that changed my life. Other than that, I've always been insecure, always worn baseball caps. You see me if that's, if it's casual, or teased my hair as, big as I could.
Back in the 80s.
So it's a different experience when you're struggling with it yourself. And it's something really hard to explain, because internally it feels so superficial, so cosmetic. But when it comes down to it, it is literally how you present yourself to the world. It's how you feel and how you portray yourself. And my husband will say things like, I can see the difference in you when you have your hair on and when you don't. Like the smile is just very different. Yes.
I think we lucked out being military because we always had to pull our hair up. So
it
was like at work, we just wore a hat, had our hair pulled up. So it wasn't like a big deal. But it probably did damage to our hair.
Yeah.
All those years of putting it in a bun.
I had super short hair, so it's just easier to try to put it up every day. Why do you think we don't talk about women's hair loss as openly?
I just think a lot of women aren't aware that we're all struggling, and that it's okay to struggle, and that there are things to do to fix it. Now, whether, again, that be starting these pills or oils or vitamins that may help you. And then if that doesn't, there are other solutions out there that, again, I wasn't aware of that help change my life for sure.
Yeah. I think it's just embarrassing. Like, nobody wants to talk and straight up say, oh yeah, I have hair loss. Like, it sucks. It's embarrassing. I don't want to talk about it. But now I feel comfortable talking about it, just because I know everybody that I'm dealing with is in my age group, and we're all dealing with it.
Yeah.
So it's easier.
Yeah. And it's also one of those, it's like a feminine thing, right? Like your hair is makes you feel so feminine. And so when that gets taken from you, it's just a little different. And again, it's kind of a hard thing to explain when you're not personally going through it. So it's hard to talk with someone who has amazing hair and doesn't have to feel that way, or a man for that reason. Again, it's okay. Well, not okay, but for them, it's somewhat socially acceptable to be bald. And for women, for some reason, it's not.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't come across a lot of women who just say, I'm just going to go bald.
Yeah, no. I would love to have beautiful hair. And when I see a man with beautiful hair, I'm like, really?
Yeah.
How can you have that flowing hair like Fabio?
Yeah, but Fabio is probably 25. No, dude.
He's like 70 now.
That's true.
Have you found a routine or product that actually helped?
So I discovered the Cesar Ragazzi CNC. So it is a hair prosthetic that's created in Italy. I did a lot of research to try and find something that was going to cover my scalp. And that's part of the issue too. There's our extensions for days, all kinds of extensions to help women with fuller hair, thicker hair, whatnot. Unfortunately for women like me, all my hair loss is on the top of my head. As much as I wanted longer hair, that wasn't really solving anything for me. I mean, I did do that, but it didn't really help solve the problem. If anything, I think it might have damaged more of my actual hair. Yeah, and I lost a little more.
Yeah.
I did a lot of research and wasn't able to really find any answers here in San Antonio. I traveled to Austin and met with a wonderful salon there that presented me with the CNC. And I just loved it. I mean, it truly changed my life to the point where I knew this was something that I needed to bring to San Antonio, because I know that there are women out there who are also struggling and women who feel alone in this. And I wanted to provide a place where you knew that you're not alone, that we can have these conversations, that we can figure out the solution that worked for you, whether that be that CNC or something else. Like, we are in this together to figure out what's going to make you feel good. But the CNC is a prosthetic that, as I mentioned, is created in Italy. It's completely customized to you. So when you come into the salon and we start designing, we create a die cast of specifically where your hair loss is and where that system sits on your scalp. And then you pick everything from the color, the density, the diameter of the hair, the length of the hair, all of those things. So it's completely customized.
How is it different from, like, explain what it is and how it's so different from wigs?
Yeah, so the wonderful thing about the CNC is that, so not only is it a medical grade device in Italy, but like I said, it's like a hair prosthetic. So it is medically adhered to your scalp. So it fits on you like a second skin. And so when we do that design, we create that bycast to really form every divot, every dimple in your scalp and every place that you're having hair loss. So that scalp covers all that hair loss. So if the wind blows or you part your hair on a different side, what you're going to see is an actual hairline. And with it being medically adhered, you can swim with it, you can work out with it, you can sleep with it. And that's not something that you can do with a day-to-day wig. That's something you take off every night. That's something that you would have to take off before going swimming or working out. So with a CNC, you could essentially not have to see yourself without hair again. When you come into the salon and we remove it for cleaning and sanitizing, we have a curtain that goes over the mirror. You don't have to see yourself until we put that system back on. So you really could just never have to see that again, if that's what you were wanting to do.
Yeah.
So is that what kind of makes it a game changer for women?
Absolutely. Yes. So it's being able to live your real life and not ever having to tell anybody about it if you didn't want to. That's what makes it huge. To be able to just cannonball into the pool with my kids and not have to worry about it, or chase after them in the street, and well, not with cars, but don't worry, I watch my kids. But playing with my kids and stuff, I don't have to worry about, did my hair shift? Did it fall when I bent over? Is someone noticing that? Like, you can see the lace or anything? No, it's all adhered to your scalp, and it fits your scalp specifically, so it hugs on there like a second skin.
Do they shave your head?
No, that is also the beautiful, wonderful thing about the CNC. So it's created to be adhered to even if you had hair. So yes, I still have my hair. And the wonderful thing is that we incorporate your natural hair. I have the headphones on to show.
Oh, yeah.
You incorporate your natural hair into the system itself so that you can have all these baby hairs still, and it looks seamless, like it's still a part of you. And so, so it's definitely a little different.
Okay. So people with you don't have to have severe hair loss.
No, not at all. And then again, so the CR Lab products are all dermatology tested. The adhesives are all tested. We test them on you with a patch test before we're applying to your scalp to make sure there's no allergy that you have. And then they have their own products to break down those adhesives. So when we remove them, we use those adhesives to gently break it down. We're not pulling, we're not tugging, your hair is not coming out. Yeah. It's just the adhesive gets broken down, removed, we take out adhesive out of your hair. And again, we make sure your scalp is healthy. We do masks and steams on your scalp before applying again.
So how does that process work from beginning to end? Like if I were to come to you day one, first appointment ever.
Yeah, so first appointment ever, we do free consultations. So you can easily book that online. I do them virtually or in person. And you can come into the office and we talk about what your hair goals are and how you're feeling and what you're thinking. From there, we design the system. We create that bycast, and we have this really big scanner that takes pictures of every angle of your scalp, and all of that gets sent to Italy. And these are completely so customized that it takes 3 to 4 months for them to be created in Italy. They literally hand inject every single hair into the system. It is so awesome to see. They take such care and importance into every single system. So once that's created, then it comes back to us, and we now have your bycast that we had created. So this, for instance, is my specific hair loss that shows us exactly where we're going to be putting the system on, how big it is, and then this is the measurement of where it lays. So this bycast tells us exactly where to put the system back on. So when we come in for installation day, your system is in, congratulations, we're all excited to put this on, today's the day. We have your bycast, we put it on and understand exactly where it should lay. We measure 1 million times to make sure it's exactly how we designed it, exactly to sit so seamlessly on your scalp. And then we put that medical adhesive around the border of your system, which would match this. Yeah. Your base would look just like this, as well as on your scalp. And then the two are put together, and
so that never changes.
This never changes. This is when it's designed to not move from that spot again.
Oh, that's interesting. I don't know why I thought they would just like the wig part, which is glued on your head.
No. It's not. I guess if you simplify it, that could be it. But so there's a lot of care, a lot of measurements, a lot of precision that goes into applying it. Because again, we want it to feel like your scalp, not like this thing that you just have on top of your head.
You have to feel
comfortable. Absolutely. Yeah. A lot of questions I get are like, can you feel it, or what does it feel like? I honestly feel different without it now. I get really cold without it.
How often do you have to redo it?
So everybody's different. So it's every 3 to 5 weeks, depending on your body chemistry. Some people sweat a lot more. Right. Some people maybe not go outside very often. So, it just really depends on your lifestyle and your body chemistry. And then, every about 3 to 5 weeks is when we come in for what we call maintenance. And that's where you have it removed and sanitized and cleaned and restyled and then put back on. And you have this wonderful hair again to walk out with.
So, sorry. Can I go ahead? Oh, in between those 3 to 5 weeks, you're just washing your hair like normal. Yep. Is there you don't have to wash your hair but one time a week, or how does that look?
We recommend that you wash it the way you normally would wash it. Everybody's kind of different. Some people wash their hair every day. Some people wash it twice a week. I would say at least 2 to 3 times a week that you wash it. But we use our products that, keep the hair soft and beautiful. And we have all kinds of shampoos and conditioners to keep it fresh and whatnot. So you just wash your hair like normal. The only thing you do different is that you dry underneath your system to make sure that your scalp is still dry. But it's a lot easier than you think.
I was gonna say, how do you know if your scalp is dry? Does it ever get mold under there?
No. And again, you have to take care of it, just like anything else, right? You want to take care of your investment. But it's just as simple as the flat straightening attachment to your blow dryer. You just put it right over your forehead, and that air just goes underneath it. You feel it. It's different.
If people want to they get their hair in and it's everything they want, and then a week later, like, well, I want highlights. Can they go dye it?
Yeah. So a great thing about the CNC is it's 100% unprocessed virgin hair. And the way they know that is they really test every single strand that comes in. And so this is hair that's not been ever touched. So it is great for dyeing because it's never been processed before. So it can be, doesn't have to be. It's completely up to you. There are a plethora of colors that you can choose from. Sometimes we can blend those too when you're ordering the system. So we really could create it the way you want your hair to look.
Definitely. When you say customize, you're not kidding.
Yeah.
It sounds like that. Yeah, that's cool.
So now we'll talk about how much it costs.
Yeah.
How much, so it's known to be an investment over time. You'll have to invest in it. How should women think about the value of a custom?
Yeah. So again, because it's something that you really do live your life 24/7 in, it's that in itself is worth it. You're not having to remove it. You're not having to see yourself. You're not having to re-traumatize yourself.
Right.
And if I'm being honest, a while ago, I had an incident with wearing a wig and it was just so hot out and the wig just like came off. It was just embarrassing and just not where you're wanting to be in that point. There's just so much about the CNC that can really make you feel so secure and confident with no worries about like what can happen. So that all itself is really worth that investment. And then just seeing yourself, you know, I always say when I look in the mirror, I see who I want to be, who I was supposed to be. Right. Because when I see myself without it, I don't feel like myself. So to me, all of those things have been, you know, reasons to keep investing and reasons for me to keep spreading the word here in San Antonio.
So does the price change if they want shorter hair or longer hair? Do all those factor into the price?
Yeah. So because it's so customized, it's really hard to give an answer as to what it costs because it really varies. Again, like my hair loss may be less or more than yours. Gotcha. So it might be a bigger system, a bigger area to cover. And then, you know, if you want super, super long hair or short hair, you know, that all kind of depends on prices too.
Color doesn't matter?
Color does not matter. Yeah.
What does the cost of the maintenance, like if I go in for a day of maintenance, washing, cleaning, things like that?
Yeah, so it's $350 every month for that. It's about a 3-hour appointment because that's us removing the system, again, making sure your scalp is taken care of, sanitizing the system, and then reapplying. So it is a little longer of appointment, but you know, all of that care is taken into that. And again, protecting your investment and making sure it is clean and sanitized and all those kinds of things.
So women considering the CNC system, what should they look for in a certified? How do they find a certified provider?
So we are the only certified providers here in San Antonio. So definitely come visit Flora Hair Solutions. I'll give myself a shout out there. There is also one in Austin and Houston and one in Dallas. As far as out of Texas, there is a CR Lab website that you could go on to make sure that you're going to a certified provider. There are versions of the CNC that are trying to start coming out that are very different, but CNC has been doing this, CR Lab has been doing this for 50 plus years. Yeah. They've tested this, they've owned it, and they've rocked it, honestly, for so long that you want to make sure you're going to a certified provider that this is the real deal.
I know for me that sounds invaluable because how much money am I spending on minoxidil, the pills, like just getting my hair done, because I have to dye my hair every 5 weeks just for the grays and everything. I mean, I'm sure I would save money. I know that we spoke about it before. You said that sometimes the insurance can cover it.
Yeah. So I have had some clients who have contacted their insurance companies who are willing to cover the system because it is a medical prosthetic rather than just a everyday wig. Yeah. So it is definitely something that you should contact your insurance provider and ask them if they would cover a hair prosthetic. Talk to your dermatologist if they recommend it, or if they've heard about them, you know, definitely talk with your dermatologist always about these products. I know it to be wonderful, and I know that insurance has talked about covering some of them. So yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Have you had any luck with TRICARE?
Not yet.
Man. My PCM is really, he listens. Yeah. You know, and it's already in my records at alopecia. So I'm hoping that I'm going to start talking to him about it because it's already on record. And it's clear you can see in my hair that there's a problem. So I'm hoping I'm going to start having that conversation with him.
Yeah, we'd love to have you in and show you what make your dream goals come true here.
Yeah.
Well, your hair looks beautiful.
It does.
You have to show everyone your wig.
Yes.
Or not your wig.
Your system.
Your system or that you have there.
Yes, so this is my new hair system that just came from Italy. Sorry, I moved from the mic. It just came from Italy. I just purchased it. She's beautiful and she's ready to be applied. You can feel how soft she is, the hair, how wonderful she is.
Oh, wow.
And then this head here that she's on is also what's created in Italy so that the system, it like fits there. So if you like touch her, you see that there's no bubbles. Like that's how it will fit on my scalp specifically.
That is awesome.
So how can listeners reach out to you?
So you can find me on florahairsolutions.com or on Instagram. We're at florahair.sa. Yeah, we'd love to have you in for a free consultation and talk about how we can help you with your hair loss and your hair goals, honestly.
It's exciting.
Yes, it's beautiful. Love it.
What's behind the name Flora?
So when we were trying to figure out what to name our company, my husband had asked me essentially what I felt like when I first put it on. That was my answer, was I felt like myself again. Like I just felt like me. And so he was like, yeah, kind of like a reblossoming. And so we went with Flora. Also, my daughter's name is Laura L. Oh. She thinks it's named after her, but
we're gonna let her think
really it's
cool.
That's very cool. I love it. I care. I'm